Hello everyone, I am Dr. Premchand from National Law University, Delhi. Today, in this module, we are going to discuss cyber terrorism, its conceptual clarity, its the purpose, who are cyber terrorists, what are the definition of cyber terrorism. This is a new phenomena in cyber world, and now we come to the learning outcomes of the module. I have identified 6 outcomes of the module. 1. To impart knowledge about the burning issues of cyber terrorism in the internet world. Second, to make aware about the issues of of vulnerability in internet world. Third one, the cyber terrorism, whether terrorism is different from other kinds of terrorism. Fourth one, to understand in the forms of cyber terrorism. The fifth one, who are the cyber terrorists actually, and the last one is Indian response to the cyber terrorism. Now, we will start with the introduction. Cyberspace is a new phenomena in the internet world or day to day or 21st century, and at the same time digital technology gives to a space which is known as cyberspace, and internet is used nowadays in all the activities of daily life, it including entertainment, banking, transport, education, health, and so on so forth. And at the same time, while internet and the cyberspace is giving us the opportunity or the fruits which comes with certain backdrops as well, and according to the data of 2070, we found in Asia region about 48.7% population is using the internet, and Australia region 0.7% is the lowest one who are using the internet or cyberspace. Internet is a gift associated with the pitfalls. At the same, cyberspace has no boundaries, as it is a super space available to one and all for all kinds of unlawful activities, and traditional terrorism or the traditional terrorist activities now it is done on internet or cyberspace. It is a new type of weapon to weapon and target as well as to the terrorist, and this is known as, or this phenomena we can term as cyber terrorism. Now, important aspect is, what is cyberspace? Cyberspace was coined in 1982 in a fiction by William Gibson in his fiction Necromancer. It is coined cyber plus space, and it has been defined or it has been described anything which is associated with the computers, information technology, internet, and diverse internet culture. Now, cyberspace, at the same time you can say that electronic medium of computer network in which online communication takes place, where individuals can interact, conduct business, direct actions, create artistic media, play games, engage in political conferences or activities, or so on. So, cyberspace is a unique medium for cyber criminals for 3 reasons. 1. The use of computers and other equipment is cheaper means to perpetrate crime. Second, cybercrime adds additional parties to the traditional perpetrator, victims, or scenario of the crime. Third one, criminals can maintain their anonymity easily and law enforcement agency may never catch them. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is Thomas and Lauder, they have described it as computer mediate activities which are illegal or considered illicit considered illicit by certain parties which can be conducted through global electronic network. In Department of Justice in 1989, it has been defined by them that defined by the Department of Justice cybercrime as violation of criminal law that involve knowledge of computer technology for their perpetration, investigation or prosecution. We can say cybercrime is a crime which the criminal in cyber environment using internet, computer network, wireless communication systems, tool or target. In simple word, cybercrime involves criminal activities in the internet world with the help of computer. Cyber terrorism is defined by J.F. Dunnigan. He said, when electronic networks and computer technology used as a weapon by the terrorist can be termed as cyber terrorism. So, the basic element or the minimum requirement for cyber terrorism is that attacks contains a terrorist component should take place using the internet simply, and the same way we can say the terrorism or tomorrow's terrorist may able to more damage with the keyboard than with a bomb. Now, we come on the evolution and meaning of cyber terrorism. This is 21st century, the second industrial revolution we can say it termed it is often called, and the internet and network computer have posed the biggest ever challenge to the legal system and to all over the world. Colin, who was a senior fellow at California, he has described it or he has coined this techno phrase with two words, one is cyberspace and terrorism. So, he coined this new word, new concept cyber terrorism by using these two words. Cyber terrorism is use of electronic networks, computer technology as a weapon. Now, there are certain things we came to know. We should know that United Nations Counterterrorism Implementation Task Force in US recognizes that cyber terrorism is use of internet to perform terrorist attacks by remotely altering information on computer system or disrupt the flow of data between computer systems. And at the same time, it is very difficult to define, or anonymous definition is not able to find or not able to we do that difficult to define, but because this term does not have a plain widely accepted definition. Cyber terrorism is a phrase used to describe the use of internet based attacks on cyber terrorist activities, including acts of deliberate large scale disruption of computer networks, especially of personal computers attached to the internet by means of tools such as computer viruses. There are two concepts of cyber terrorism. One, when terrorists use information technology to attract the audience by creating violence through defacement of website, denial of service attacks, hacking, cracking, tampering source code, flying virus, etc., where the computer is used as a target or weapon which go against the government or national agency. Second aspect of cyber terrorism or the concept of cyber terrorism is the use of information technology by terrorists, the cyber pornography, cyber fraud, cyber spamming, etc., which creates terror or threat in the mind of people. Here the new technology is also used as a tool for terrorism. We have a graphics where cyber terrorism, which are the factors which in the cyber terrorism we can consider, we can discuss. These factors are, one is target. What are the targets? What are the the most interesting point is in cyber terrorism, the critical national information infrastructure and computer system. Second is critical infrastructure, and third one is civilian population. All these factors are interestingly to be considered for cyber terrorism, because at the disruption of these three critical infrastructure or infrastructures, it creates a panic in the government or in the general public. Second is, what are the impacts of these cyber terrorism or cyber terrorist attack? Mass disruption of seriously interface critical service operations, cause fear, death, bodily injury or severe economic losses. What are the methods of these actions of cyber terrorists? The simply unlawful means by using the internet, and the domain is always a cyberspace, because we are talking about the cyber terrorism. Next is, what are the tools of attack? Network warfare and psychological operation. And what are the motivations? Motivation either of political, either of ideological, or the social motivation. All these factors are considered for the purpose of cyber terrorism. In Indian scenario, initially 2000 Act, this is Information Technology Act 2000, does not define cyber terrorism, or there was no provision as such in the Act in relation to cyber terrorism. After the amendment of 2008, the section 66F of the Information Technology Amendment Act 2008 and section 66 was 66F was inserted. I would like to read here. Section 66F says, whoever A, with intent to threaten the unity, integrity, security, sovereignty of India, or to strike terror in the public or people or any section of the people by three factors, three acts: denying or cause the denial of access to any person authorized to access computer resource, attempting to penetrate or access computer resources without authorization or exceeding authorized access, or introducing or causing to introduce any computer contaminant, and by means of such conduct causes or is likely to cause death or injuries to persons or damage to or destruction of property, or disrupt or knowing that it is likely to cause damage or disruption of supplies or services essential to the life of the community, or adversely affect the critical information infrastructure specified under section 70 of this Act. B part of section 66F is knowingly or intentionally penetrate or access a computer resource without authorization or exceeding authorized access, and by means of such conduct obtain access to information, data or computer database that is restricted for reason for the security of the state or foreign nation, foreign relations, or any restricted information, data or computer database with reason to believe that such information, data or computer database so obtained may be used to cause or likely to cause injury to the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with the foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or in relation to contempt of the court, defamation or incitement to an offence, or the advantage of any foreign nation, group of individuals or otherwise commit the offence of cyber terrorism. Now, the subsection 2 of 66F, it gives the punishment whoever commits or conspire to commit cyber terrorism shall be punishable with imprisonment, which may extend to imprisonment for life. This is a wide definition given by section 66F, and there are other definitions as well, which we can go through. One is the National Infrastructure Protection Center. It says cyber terrorism is a criminal act perpetrated through computers resulting in violence, death or destruction, or creating terror for the purpose of coercing a government to change its policies. Next definition is Center for Strategic and International Studies. It says cyber terrorism is the use of computer network tools to shut down critical national infrastructure such as energy, transportation, government operations, health, or to coerce or intimidate the government or civilian population. These are certain definitions we have discussed, and on the basis of these definitions, we can come out with the characteristics of the cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism has several distinct characteristics. These characteristics help to better differentiate fine line between the cyber attack virus versus cyber attack or activities of a hacker. Cyber terrorism will and may display the following signs. 1. Attack is predefined and victims are specifically targeted. Second is attack has objective to destroy or damage specific targets such as political, economic, energy, civil, military infrastructure as such. Third one, attack may even target specific opposing religious groups of information infrastructure to incite religious pandemonium. Fourth one, destroy enemies' capabilities to further operate within their own arena. Fifth one, persuade others to believe that victims are vulnerable. And the last one is create increased loyalty and pride within the group based on their success.